At some point, Belichick may, retire, but it's not going to be in the contract, and you're not going to tell him when he's going to retire. Too much respect, and because he's the greatest coach to ever do it, you have to. I mean, it's never going to happen.
So no handshake deal either.
No, no, there's no handshake. The thing with Josh is Josh wanted stability. Josh is the type of guy. He's happy. He loves being in that organization. He loves the ownership. There's stability there with the ownership. He loves the players that he coached. He loves being under Bill Belichick and learning. That's invaluable.
Well. Look who's here now. The magic of TV. You're just there. Now you're here. Willie McGinnis.
Willie, before we get started, you said in the last segment about how much fun the Patriots had. How much fun was it watching the defensive signals of other teams?
The funny thing is we didn't get the signal. I'm on defense, so it would have been the offensive signal. Okay. Yeah, you got to get your side of the ball right. Let me just say something about that. Let me just say, and this is funny. If like the graduation rate for players on New England is like very high, right? So they go after smart players. If we would have known the plays, it would have been 6 or 7 Super Bowls instead of just 3.
Is that what it was?
Games wouldn't have been close.
Won any.
Games wouldn't have been close.
Okay.
Like signals give you nothing.
Well, he's so pleased with himself.
He is.
All right.
He waited 10 minutes to get that question out.
He goes, after you intro Willie. Wait a second. Yeah. You wait a second. All right.
Way to make headlines. You did it again.
Yeah, it's all over. Okay. All right, Willie, how long do you expect the Belichick era to continue?
I'm not sure. And that's up to Belichick. I know he enjoys coaching. I saw the excitement this year, especially after the AFC Championship getting there. It's tough to win in the NFL. It's so many great teams, especially in the NFC this year. And you look at the different ways how you have to win. You got to survive the injuries. You got to survive free agency. All the different things that happen during the year. And to be able to get to that game, the joy of what it brings to you. Now, to lose is the worst thing ever. But for a group of men to come together, and you've been there, you understand how much work it takes. It does something for you. And when you're at the top of your game, when you're producing and you're putting out a product, a consistent product. I think the average they're in the Super Bowl every 3 years or something like that. Like, how can you just walk away? Now, if you win and you keep winning and you win about 2 or 3 more and you say, hey, I'm good, that's a different story. But I just think the fire still burns in Bill Belichick.
I agree with you there. It's interesting, the point that you made about winning the AFC Championship game. We all saw an emotional Bill Belichick getting excited and being enthused about that. I don't think we've seen that too often in his tenure as a head coach.
That come in the locker room after the game.
I mean, we're not privileged of being in there at that time. We get the calm, stoic Bill Belichick at the podium. But when it comes to his coaching tenure there and the relationship with he and Tom, and he and Kraft, is there a little tension there with what took place with Jimmy Garoppolo?
I don't think so. I think that was a business decision. And if they could have extended Jimmy, kept him on the roster, would they have? Yes, of course. They wanted to keep. I mean, there's got to be. Tom's not going to play till he's 50. At some point, you got to have somebody to take over.
You just extended that to 50.
Right.
No, it's supposed to be 45.
I'm just saying. Like at some point, I mean, he's the MVP this year. We're talking about he's going to hit the wall at 40. He was the MVP of the league.
By default, though.
You're right.
That was all Rob.
It's always Carson Wentz got hurt.
Yeah, see,
or what else?
Carson Wentz had more touchdowns and less interceptions than Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't even have the highest QB. Yards don't win games. We saw it in the Super Bowl, really.
You got to throw
505 yards. Did they win?
Yeah, but you need defense to help with that.
No, really?
Yeah, it's the other side of the ball. Yeah,
so now you just need one side of the ball.
Even with that defense, had the ball twice with 2:30 to go and had a chance to win. They still could have won.
That was one of the best defenses in the league, and they still scored 30-plus points. So I'm just saying, like, it takes more. It's a team sport. It takes 2 sides of the ball.
You know why I think Josh McDaniels is still there? I think that Bob Kraft and those guys think that there's a chance that Bill Belichick at some points could still walk out of there, and I think that they wanted to make sure that they safeguarded themselves. Right now he says, hey, I'm good, I'm coming back, everything's good. There's a long way between losing the Super Bowl, what's going on with Kraft picking Brady over him, and then saying to yourself, before the next season comes, there's a chance he could change his mind. We've seen it happen. So I'm saying to you, is it totally impossible that Bill Belichick can just say, you know what, I've had enough. You know what, we lost. Tom Brady's going to do whatever he wants. The owner made the pick a 40-year-old quarterback over a coach that has orchestrated 5 Super Bowls and 8 Super Bowl appearances. Is there that chance?
I think that decision has already been made. That's why he's still there.
But I'm saying he still
and
could quit.
And he's got extended. Well, anybody can retire. I mean, that's the possibility across the entire football league. I mean, there's nothing in a contract. There's no succession plan saying that, okay, in a year or 2 years or 3 years, guess what? We're good, Bill. You don't tell the best coach ever that's still producing, putting out a Super Bowl product that, okay, in a year, Josh is going to take, and out of respect for Belichick, Josh wouldn't even demand that. Like this, everything happens collectively in that building.
But
There's a conversation.
From Josh's standpoint, hear me out on this.
Okay.
Here's your opportunity. First of all, you went to Denver. You were head coach.
Yep.
Got fired there. He got caught taping the 49ers walkthrough in London, right? Broncos weren't happy. They fired him, and they didn't play well, okay? So he got that opportunity.
Okay.
Comes back to New England. He's good. He's with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a 40-year-old quarterback who's going to be 41.
See, there you go with the age again.
Right.
I'm talking about waiting around.
Talk about the production.
I'm talking about waiting around. Like, if Bill quits in 4 years, doesn't mean Josh is going to have Tom Brady. So the idea of him working with Tom Brady as a head coach, he really can't buy into that. Brady could be retired by the time Bill takes over. So I'm just saying, when you do this and you leave the Colts at the altar with assistants already hired and moved to Indianapolis, it's going to be hard for anybody else other than New England to ever want to hire you. So he might have burned that bridge to where the only place he could be coach. So all I'm saying is, I think Kraft, without saying it, has said to him, you will be that coach. And that's why making that decision where you burn that bridge of maybe never coaching anywhere else, it's easier to make. Does that make sense?
In a sense, it does, but that's happened before, where a coach has been to a place and I don't want to be here after he was named the head coach, right?
Bill Belichick did it.
And I don't think when we talk about Hall of Fame or when he's said and done, you're going to say, oh, remember when he didn't want to go back to the Jets to be the head coach? I think for Josh, and that's not the only job that he's turned down in the past. He had opportunities last year where he turned down. And not only take his name down, he pretty much had the job.
Did he agree to it?
He pretty much.
But it's different when
if he wouldn't agree. But there's certain things when you meet with teams, as far as ownership, all the way down, that you got to be on the same page. And I'm not saying that with the coach. What I'm saying is he feels bad about the timing, but he doesn't regret his decision. Because going into last year, he did not have a contract going forward with the Patriots. So for any businessman, when you go into an opportunity, when you don't have stability, you got to think ahead, right? Absolutely. You got to think, what's my next step? Well, his next step is, well, if I don't have a contract here and it hasn't happened yet, I got to make sure I position myself for my next step, which was a head coach. Okay, during the season, there was no contract extension. After the season, there was no contract, which means, okay, I've already had these conversations. This is my next step. When I'm going in to pack up my stuff and I really don't feel like I want to leave, and in my heart and with my family, I don't want to leave, and I know I want to be here, and I'm not worried about a head coaching job because I've won more here than I ever will probably as a head coach anywhere else. And I've been with a great ownership that has unlimited resources, the best quarterback to ever play the game, and the best head coach. And at some point, I think if I stay here, my chances of being the head coach, that is a possibility. But I have to wait until the Don says he's done. And at the end of the day, if I leave, now I'm coaching against him. That means he's not going to open up the toolbox.
Right.
He's not going to open up his toolbox and give me everything. If I say I'm going to be here for life, I'm a Patriot for life, I'll be an assistant, and when it's time, yeah, maybe I'll take over. But if he opens that up, that's priceless because he's not going to do that for anybody. So you got to think of the whole dynamic of that situation.
Well, that's opened up. Almost everything else is shut down.
To you, but it's not. A lot of people still love Josh and will hire him in a minute.
I doubt that a team, another general manager, will stand up and be able to do that with Josh.
Maybe he doesn't want to go to another team.
But I'm just saying, after that's happened, it would be hard-pressed for a guy to be like, oh, yeah, Josh, you said you're coming and you're going to agree to it after you've been left at the
I got a quick question for you. If Belichick left the Patriots for some odd reason and said, hey, I want to go coach at another team, do you think he'll get picked up as another head coach?
Oh, Bill Belichick, yeah.
Okay, so
Josh
he did the same thing.
never won anything.
Well,
totally
he's
different.
never won anything?
No. Not as a head coach.
Real quick, I
Not
got
as a head
a quick one for you. Is Dick LeBeau a Hall of Famer?
Dick LeBeau? Yeah.
Has he ever been a head coach?
No, but he's.
Has he? No. I just want a yes or no.
What?
Has he ever been a head coach?
No, he wasn't.
Has he been he's going to go in as a defensive coordinator,
I
correct?
got it.
So Josh has had the same or has
No, but that's
or as Maine.
We got to go. You got to
Sorry.
talk off camera about this.
Meet outside of the house.
Every time you ask
Meet
for
outside
next
in the
day.
back.
All right, Willie, thanks for joining us. Hey, if you were an NBA